Kilifi residents have raised concerns about the planned construction of a nuclear energy plant in the area, fearing the project is likely to negatively affect marine ecosystems that they rely on as a source of their livelihood. This has prompted the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency to hold a public sensitization forum for the local community to demystify the fears. We are now linking up with our reporter Wairi Munjenga, who is in Kilifi for an update. Good afternoon, Wairi Munjenga.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are right here in Kilifi County, and today our discussion is on nuclear power. Remember, Kenya is working towards ensuring that we construct a nuclear plant by 2036, but the construction phase is supposed to start in 2027. And there has been a lot of conversation going on in terms of the nuclear power plant being set up in Kilifi, and why Kilifi. And right here with me, I'm joined by Winnie, Dr. Winnie Dubai, who is the Director Strategy and Planning at NUPEA, that is the Nuclear Energy, and that is the organization that is handling this matter. Just tell us why Kenya is introducing nuclear plant at this time, where we also have other energy sources in the country which are renewable and clean energy. So here she is with us, and just to get right into it, Dr. Winnie, I'd like to know why Kenya is introducing nuclear power plant at this point.
Thank you very much. Indeed, we're very excited to be here in Kilifi because this is the best site that has been located for the first nuclear power plant in Kenya. The idea of nuclear power in this country was conceived in the year 2010. That was when the National Economic and Social Council was projecting the development of the country to a middle-income country. So one of the major reasons that why we're going nuclear is because we are expecting to have significant increase in electricity demand in the country. And so we will require additional sources other than the conventional sources that we currently have. For example, we have a lot of geothermal resource, we have got a lot of hydro, solar, wind. All that is already being harnessed, but as we project for this growth of demand to increase significantly with the implementation of the Vision 2030 flagship projects, then we need to have additional power. Other than the sufficiency of power, we also need power that will be stable and available throughout, because as we set up industries cannot run on intermittent source of electricity. For example, like what comes from solar and wind. So nuclear is being introduced not as a competition for other sources of energy, but as a complement, so that the country can be able to harness all the renewable energy resources, but also answer to the question of stability. Nuclear energy also presents a very good pricing for electricity. As we know, we have struggled a lot with the pricing of electricity in this country. We are always complaining, right from the domestic front, the industrial perspective. Everybody needs the cost of electricity to come down, because that will also enhance the competitiveness of the products and services that come from this economy. So the prospect for nuclear is also that it will bring down the cost of electricity in the country.
There are a lot of misconceptions about nuclear energy, and I'd like you to demystify them for Kenyans out there and residents of course of Kilifi County. How safe is nuclear?
Nuclear power is extremely safe. I wouldn't mind to live within a nuclear facility, because I totally understand the heavy requirements, both at the national level and international level, for the establishment of any nuclear power plant or any nuclear facility. And so I know there's a lot of misconception, and one of the greatest misconception is about nuclear waste. Nuclear generates some radioactive waste through, after the fission process, there are certain products that will come from that process, and it is radioactive. It can be harmful to people and to the environment. But as we prepare for the establishment of this plant, we are taking all necessary measures to ensure that our nuclear power plant will be able to manage the waste safely and sustainably for the environment. There are already established international mechanisms of managing radioactive waste. Kenya as a country will also be required to accede or sign up to international protocols on the best ways of managing the radioactive waste that comes from the nuclear facilities. We also already have a nuclear law, the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Act, that has already provided a clear prescription of the need for safe handling of this waste. The regulatory body, the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority, has also been established under the same act and will provide oversight for the management of that waste. I want to assure Kenyans that we are doing the nuclear power program in a very responsible manner, and there will be no harmful effect to the environment and the people. So that's one of the misconceptions. The other misconception is that there will be irresponsible displacement of people. And maybe let me speak to the siting of this within the Kilifi County. So the Kilifi County was cited after a very clearly described scientific criteria. And so we are cognizant of the fact that people are living in places where we are going to host the nuclear power plant. And we will follow all the laid down laws and regulations in terms of compensation and ensuring that we will not displace a big number of people. Another misconception is that we will require large tracts of land. Nuclear power plants are very dense in terms of output vis-a-vis the size of the land that is used. So we are going to use a very small area of land. Of course, there will be some extra parcels of land required for emergency preparedness. We are very, very careful to ensure that even if we will never have any nuclear incident or accident in 100 years, we will be prepared for any eventuality.
Have you begun acquiring the land?
We have actually been in discussions with the Kilifi County government and local communities, and also in collaboration with the National Lands Commission and the Ministry of Lands. So discussions are ongoing. We haven't acquired the land yet, but those processes are being handled within the government agencies.
Thank you so much. I know it's a lot we can talk about, but I'll be preparing a 9 p.m. story. Well, we'll demystify this nuclear power plant agenda, and we'll talk to you later on this broadcast. Back to you in studio.